What if you could become anyone, go anywhere, talk to anyone, as anything? A world with no rules, no real identity, and no limits. Sounds like a dream, right? But in the world of virtual reality, that dream can quickly become a nightmare.
One of the most prolific online child abusers has been sentenced to life in prison. Faked his identity to sexually abuse and blackmail thousands of children online. This
is VRChat, a social platform where freedom is limitless, and so are the dangers.
Just like minors getting groomed, like there would be adults coming up to kids trying to flirt with them, being like, "Age doesn't matter."
We've been tracking him on Discord for fucking 6 months now. He was sending little kids pics and shit. We were on Discord.
To understand the dark side of VRChat, you first have to understand what virtual reality is. VR isn't just for gaming, it's becoming a new space for social interaction, education, and even therapy. And at the center of this new digital society is VRChat. VRChat is a free-to-play online multiplayer platform where users can create avatars, join virtual worlds, and communicate through voice, movement, and gestures. Think of it like a 3D Discord server, except your face is a furry animal character and you're standing inside a nightclub someone coded in their basement. It's weird, it's wild, and it can be amazing, but it's also almost completely unmoderated.
You can't f me. I'm a bitch. Because I'll enjoy it. And it won't be
rape if you consent.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't mean I'm not gonna put my pinky finger in your penis hole.
Do you think it's bad to say like these kind of like the R words and these vulgar things? Do you think it's kind of unhealthy with kids, you know, being in the same area as you guys?
What do you mean?
And that's where things get dangerous. Behind the laughs, behind the memes, VRChat has a side that many choose to ignore. A side full of NSFW content, exploitation, and worst of all, predators. Because anyone can join, there's no age verification, no filters. That means adults and kids often mingle in the same virtual spaces. Combine that with anonymity, freedom of movement, and access to custom content, you get a breeding ground for exploitation. There have been multiple reports and even arrests tied to grooming and inappropriate behavior in VRChat. Predators use the game's freedom to manipulate, lure, and exploit younger players. With voice changers, childlike avatars, and virtual intimacy, it becomes easy to blend in, gain trust, and cross lines. At this point, I'd heard enough stories from people outside the game, but I wanted to know what people inside VRChat, the ones actually living this experience, had to say.
I was sent over here from another world, but I'm making a YouTube video right now. It's a docu-style video on the dark side of VRChat. Basically like pedophiles, the dark stuff, you know. I was wondering if you guys might have had any experiences that you guys might want to talk about for like a little bit of an interview.
I do.
All went well at first. I found someone willing to talk, someone who had seen the dark side of VRChat firsthand and was ready to share their story. But just when everyone thought we'd left to conduct this interview in peace, I noticed something. A message, not to me, but to someone else in the world. A warning. Someone tipped them off. A mod, or someone acting like one, was watching us.
I got a notification from the moderator over there. He told me to give y'all a note personally. He said, y'all wouldn't mind shutting the fuck up. That'd be great.
Now, with that chilling warning from the moderators, I knew it was time to get out of there. We left the lobby and finally sat down to conduct the interview. But this story, it's just the beginning. There are many others, each more disturbing than the last. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and listen closely, because what you're about to hear will change how you see VRChat forever.
I just want to ask you, so how long have you been in VRChat?
I've been using it off and on for about the span of like 6 years.
6 years, wow.
I'm 20 now, but I used to play when I was like 15 and stuff.
Have you ever like run into something that made you feel unsafe or uncomfortable?
Oh, definitely. There used to be a lot of groomers that would play this game when it first came out, and a lot of ERPers, and back then, erotic roleplay wasn't really regulated as much as it is now. And there would be people in like public lobbies like the box, like each other
Oh my
off,
gosh.
like in front of kids and stuff, with like anime girl avatars with penises.
Holy
Oh
cow.
my god.
So I run a community in Warhammer, and there was a guy named Anubis. We found out that he was a pedophile. He was sending dick pics to a 13-year-old.
Wait, I saw that dickhead today.
Yeah, Anubis is a pedophile. He was sending his
supporter.
If someone's a pedophile supporter, you can more than likely bet that they are a pedophile.
I've seen like one girl that I knew. She was only 14 at the time, and some 20-year-old was like trying to date her or something. There was another girl, and she was like going on 15, and her parents knew about her relationship with a 22-year-old guy and was fine with it.
Is there a problem with adults maybe acting like they're not adults?
I recently had a friend that I had to cut off, and he was an adult. When he was around kids, he would have this completely different demeanor when talking to them. But it wasn't like normal, like how a normal adult would kind of like switch up. He went around like, I don't know, like talking about really deep adult issues with them and would diagnose them with mental illness. It was really bad.
Do you think that there's like a real problem with like predators or grooming in VRChat?
Oh, definitely. I used to be even way worse. I mean, it's pretty bad now, but it used to be so much worse.
Do you think VRChat has done a good job to try and stop these issues, or they haven't? What are things what are things that they could do to protect these?
They used to be pretty active at admin, but like these days you just don't see them doing anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've seen it happen in a public lobby, like here, sort of thing.
I don't even think they're trying.
I mean, they did recently update their thing, but honestly, I feel like there's more they could probably do.
There's a thing called doxers. Doxers will come in and they'll delete their account, and then they'll get their address and send it to the police.
So it's not actually VRChat, but it's the users and it's the community inside. It's the community then inside that are taking the matter into their own hands, finding these pedophiles and doxing them and reporting them to the police.
So why isn't this being fixed? Simple. VRChat is massive, and moderation is nearly impossible. Thousands of worlds, millions of users, and an endless supply of private rooms means there's little oversight. Moderators can't be everywhere, and the responsibility often falls on the community itself, which is already desensitized or too deep to care. VRChat isn't all bad. There are wholesome communities, educational meetups, and real friendships. But it's clear, something needs to change. It's easy to think that what happens in VR stays in VR, that behind the goofy avatars, silly voices, and chaotic lobbies, it's all just digital make-believe. But sometimes that illusion breaks, and the consequences are horrifying.
Imagine opening your child's bedroom door and find this man in her closet. It happened to a family in Spring Hill. The man had been living there for more than a month after meeting the 15-year-old daughter online.
In 2022, a 25-year-old man met a 15-year-old girl on VRChat. They formed a relationship over time through private worlds, late-night chats, and the kind of emotional manipulation predators are known for. One day, he traveled across the country, not to visit, not to meet the parents, but to sneak into her house and hide. He lived inside her bedroom closet, undetected, for 2 whole weeks, sneaking out only when the family slept, eating their food, showering while they weren't home, and then quietly returning to the shadows. The girl's parents had no idea. No warning, no clue that their child had been groomed by someone they never met face to face until it was too late. He was eventually caught, not because he confessed, but because her mother heard something, a sound, a footstep, and when she opened that closet door, reality shattered. The man was arrested for child exploitation and other charges, but the damage was already done, emotionally, psychologically, and in trust. This isn't just one isolated case, it's a warning shot, a glimpse into what happens when online platforms, especially immersive ones like VRChat, give predators a mask and children the illusion of safety. And when there are no real-world consequences in the moment, lines get crossed, digital becomes physical, and fantasies turn to fear. I brought this story up to users in VRChat, and many had never even heard of it. Some were shocked, others just shrugged. If you're a parent, a gamer, or even just someone who loves VR, understand this can happen, and it already has. VRChat isn't just Predator Playground. That's not what this video is about, because there's another side, a good side, and I've seen it. It's a place where people from across the world come together, where someone who's wheelchair bound in real life can finally dance again, where someone with anxiety can build confidence through a digital mask, where real friendships are made and real memories are born. There are creative developers building games inside VRChat that are better than half the stuff on Steam. There are worlds that'll make your jaw drop, communities that welcome you, and people who make you feel less alone. But that's not the whole story either, because for every safe space, there's another that's completely unmoderated. Right now, there is an estimated 500,000 predators actively operating online every single day. 500,000 people logging in with one goal: to target and manipulate vulnerable children. And the most at risk? Kids between 12 and 15 years old. That's middle school. Freshmen in high school. According to the FBI, over 50% of all victims of online sexual exploitation fall within that exact age group. Let that sink in. More than half. It gets worse. Roughly 89% of sexual advances towards children happen in unmoderated spaces like chat rooms or messaging apps, where anonymity thrives, where strangers can become friends in seconds. It's real, and it's dangerous. But what makes it worse, the ugly, is that so many people refuse to talk about it. The ugly is silence. The pretending it's all just harmless chaos, the mods who brush things under the rug, the players who laugh it off, the predators who slip through the cracks because no one's watching. But here's the truth, VRChat doesn't have to be like this. This platform has potential, it has community, it has creators, and it has people who care. But we can't keep ignoring the dark corners of it just because the bright ones feel good. This video isn't a takedown, it's a wake-up call. If we want VR to become something truly great, safe, creative, and limitless, then we need to face the parts of it that make us uncomfortable. The good, the bad, and the ugly. All of it exists in VRChat. But now that you've seen it, what will you do next? To report grooming or exploitation online, please visit report.cybertip.org. Stay safe, speak up, and trust no one.